and putting it on the bottom or putting it on top, it typically is going to be straight up and down. Once you start moving it around to left and right, then I mean, I hope, knock on wood, our shafts don't have as much oscillation, but it typically will have more when it's at 3 o'clock or at 9 o'clock. I think the first part of your question was on the weights. Again, we use that the 256 grams and the 105 gram is at least it's a benchmark. We are giving you that. If you're using a little bit more weight, then it's going to be a little bit more, a little less frequency. But at least it gives you an idea that what I'm saying an R-flex is that you can look in our catalog and you can say, okay, here's where I'm starting at with this. Now, you know, versus an R that you have no idea where it is until you get it in the machine and do it yourself. That's the only difference that I could see.
All right, good. Let's move on here. Thanks a lot, John, for your questions. That was excellent.
Thank you, John.
Okay, we have a question from Aravind. How about carbon nanofibers? I know they will be very, very expensive, but have you had a chance to at least think about having something made of carbon nanofibers?
Well, the nanofibers, basically you're talking about a very dense, heavy, not using a high tonnage material. We use the most, I mean, it's all aero-grade material, and it's Toray. I mean, all of our material is, again, we manufacture in Korea. The Toray, which is I think it's the world's largest, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Rob. But Toray that leads us right into this segment. Toray is the world's largest manufacturer of carbon fibers, and I mean everything. They're really big in the aerospace industry, but you know, I don't know. Nanotechnology is kind of like MOI. I mean, it's buzzwords that people come up with and stick that on shafts and what have you. But we've looked at of that technology. I don't see a real benefit. It's kind of I'll give you another example. The wound fiber wound shafts. They're stronger, and particularly in the butt and midsection. But from what we've experimented with, it's been very difficult to get the consistency from the fiber wound shafts. So I don't at this point. Some of the material and the composites that we're using, we may be using different terminology. The microweave is a very dense. We're using you know, T700 and T800 material in our composite mixtures for the flags when these things are rolled, to give us the strength. And so to answer your question, I don't know that it's going to give us it's going to present any other benefit other than marketing. And I don't have enough money to be out there doing a whole lot of marketing and say we've got a nano weave.
Yeah, that's a great answer, Charlie. All right, look, moving on. Is that it, Charlie, on that one?
Yes, yeah, I think so. All
right, we have a question from, and Aravind says thank you.
All
okay,
right,
we have a question from John, which is, this one's Jeff Summit's favorite question. Does SK Fiber have any 350 or 355 shafts?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
The Light Revolution is, we have it in a 350 tip, a 370, and a 410. We've been experimenting with it. The 370 tipped about 2.5 inches, and then butt cup to length has been a pretty good seller for a lightweight hybrid shaft. But it's typically for better players because it does have a high kick point. It's a Light Revolution. But we do, and the 350 do not have a three. When you ask for a 355, don't have that, but we do have the 350.
All right, great. All right, one more, then we can continue on if there was any more comments on manufacturing. Charlie, when are you going to transition to TV announcing? I spoke to Freddie today, and he said you're ready. And that's Bill Brady.
No, I don't think so.
He's one of your buddies?
No, I don't think we want to do that.
All right, so did you want to speak anything more about the Touré or move on, Charlie? Or
Yeah, well, yeah. Let me do a little bit more on Touré. I know we covered a little bit about it. As I said, we use the highest tensile strength material that Touré has available, and all the composites and all of us. I mean, there's 3 or 4 manufacturers, good manufacturers that, or I shouldn't say good, but world leaders in composite manufacturers, and I think we're all buying. Everybody's buying from the same folks. It's the mixtures, the flags, how they're cut, how they're put together, how they're wrapped. That makes the consistency of the shaft and the entire process of sanding and painting and so on. And I mean, there's a lot in here about what makes us so unique, but I want to emphasize that we pay a huge amount of attention to quality control, and we hold the factory, hold their feet to the fire. We have quality control folks that help us out in that situation. When we have an order come in, we spot check. We're spot checking for weight. We're spot checking for CPM tolerances to make sure that we maintain that our reputation of providing a graphite shaft that's plus or minus 1 CPM, and I think weight is important. We do check some torque. As you all know, torque is a little more time-consuming and putting that together, but we do check that. But like I said, the main thing we're looking for is we want to make sure the paint jobs are right. We want to make sure the graphics are correct. We want to make sure that the weight and the frequencies are what we say they are. And we went. And most factories have this situation come up. We're not singing from the same hymn book. They were using equipment. They were using 454 gram weight, and to make it easier, we bought one of the same machine that we use here, and they have it in the factory. So when we tell them we want a 250 CPM Torque Track 80, they can test it, make sure that the mandrels are set up properly, and when they spot checking and when they're doing their quality control, they're using the same equipment we are. That's the best way to make sure that you guys are getting equipment, getting shafts that meet your requirements, and every time they're going to be the same.
All right.
All right.
Anything more on the fabrication process there, Charlie?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything in there, and they'll have this, so if they can